Okay, at this point you should have already set up your Lucid Press account through your Google account or your Google Drive. And so now we're going to do some searching for a magazine to emulate. There's lots of types of magazines out there, of course. If you look around in the lab, you're going to see we have a lot of magazine posted, everything from gaming magazines to fashion, fitness, dogs, sports, you name it, we've got it up there. So the only thing I ask is that you keep it appropriate, obviously, for display, so when the parents and my boss walks in, they don't raise an eyebrow at me. So anyway, here we go. We're going to search for, let's go for sports magazines. Magazines, plural. I'm just doing a Google search, and we've got a bazillion magazines that are going to come up. I like to go to images, and we've got a ton of them here. You name it, we've got them. What you're going to look for is something that's got a good design. And when I say a good design, it's not going to have too much on it. There's a ton of text on a lot of different magazines. Again, if you look at the ones in the lab, you're going to see some of the better ones have kind of a less is more feeling, like this one right here. We'll look at this Inside Sport magazine. They've got a lot of text here, but we're more interested in the layout. They've got a nice solid background here. They've got one single athlete here and then another one here, so it's not too busy. There's lots of different ones out there. Sports Illustrated is a really popular one for everybody that likes to do sports stuff, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to grab you, let's go ESPN. That's a pretty popular one out there that a lot of people like to do. So ESPN magazine, we'll just take the S out of magazine, so there we go. So we've got ESPN magazine. We've got a lot of different types here. I'm just going to grab this guy right here. All right, so there's LeBron James, ESPN, NBA playoffs. This was a really nice design. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to right-click on this, and I'm going to copy the image. And, of course, you would do this with any type of magazine cover. If you're doing fashion, you're doing music, you're doing dogs, whatever you're into, cats. This is the same way you're going to do it. Now, when I go into my drive, you're going to back on up to your folder, and again, I've got it layered within several folders, so I'm just going to fly through this. Here's my graphic design. I am going to create a new document, so I'm going to go New, Doc, and you can see it opens up a new doc for me. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it from Untitled Document to Pro Mag Cover. Now, what my Pro Mag cover is going to be, that's the one that I'm going to copy or emulate from. Now, if you remember, I copied this, I right-click, I copied the image. I'm going to go back here, and I can either right-click and paste, or I can go up here and paste, and let's see what happens. There it is. Now, if I zoom out here, I'm going to change this to like 75%. There we go. I've got a nice picture of a magazine here that I'd like to use as a samples. Now, one thing to point out is wrapping text, inline and break text. I'm going to change this because I can't move this around to wrap text. And what that does is it kind of floats this around so I can move it up and down. I'm going to go ahead and bring this back out. You can see there's obviously white on the page, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on here. Looks like that's going to be about it. Okay, so I'm going to zoom back in. If I hit fit, it's going to be really tight, so I'm probably going to go about 90% maybe. And you can play around with this, maybe hit 80% until you get exactly what you want in there. Okay, one thing to note before I'm done with this demo is you'll notice this barcode right here. The barcode, we don't need it, so don't worry about that. A lot of people ask me to put that in there. We're just worried about what this magazine looks like, the different parts of it and things like that, and we are in good shape. So this is exactly what you want to do to get your magazine, the one you want to copy from or emulate, because that's what we're doing. We're not being super creative here. We're just taking a magazine and we're going to go ahead and copy that same look, but we're going to make it our own, hopefully with your own photo. And that's one of the things I want you to start thinking about is let's get a photo in that you really want to use. I love it when students use their own photos. Ask me about how to get it into your drive, and we can make that happen. All right, so that's the setup here to how to make how to figure out what magazine you want to emulate or copy from.